What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on this era of basketball, and people have been going on about the GOAT conversation and LeBron James and Michael Jordan. When this era, in my opinion, has really belonged to Steph Curry. Right. When you think about the guy who has had the most success in this era, who's in my opinion has been the best basketball player in this era, and he proved it the way you want. You want it to be proven. You want guys to prove it by winning and not by stats or longevity stats. And Steph Curry, I'm trying to think. I think Steph Curry has like about 17 years in. LeBron James is like on 23. I think Kevin Durant may be on like about 17, 18, something like that. But for this era, man, I just think it's Steph Curry. This is Steph Curry's era. And Steph Curry just went about doing it quietly. No declaring himself the GOAT. And once he won his fourth championship, he didn't come out and make a statement saying that he was, that's what made him the GOAT and all this other stuff, man. He just quietly went about his business and taking care of his business. And the way he's done it with staying and with Golden State for his entire career, I think that should be, part of the equation, because when you have a guy who has stayed with one organization for his entire career, right, and he's had his ups, his downs, and he's persevered, I think that also should contribute or speak to go into the decision of like him being one of the best in the league. Steph Curry didn't jump around from team to team. Now he did have Kevin Durant came to Golden State and helped him win 2 rings, right? But even with that being said, Steph Curry won 1 ring before Kevin Durant, won 2 rings while Kevin Durant was there, and then when Kevin Durant left, he capped that off and won another ring, right? So nobody can ever say that Steph Curry needed Kevin Durant, but you can say that Kevin Durant needed Steph Curry, because when Kevin Durant left there, he hasn't done anything since he's left Golden State. But since Kevin Durant left the Golden State, Steph Curry has won. And so, in my opinion, this is Steph Curry's era. And anybody who's trying to say that this era belongs to LeBron James or I don't even think people even saying it is Kevin Durant, but anybody who's trying to say it belongs to LeBron James, I think is out of their mind. So now the guy Scat was talking about Steph, and he said some things that I think that I want to react to. I agree with much of what he said about Steph Curry, man, and he spoke on Steph Curry's legacy. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play the audio from that. Then I'm going to come back and give some more input.
Well, I know what you guys are thinking. The baby-faced assassin sitting at 38 years of age, who has appeared in 155 career playoff games, been in 6 NBA finals, and won 4 championships, doesn't need to win a trivial little play-in game only to get buzzsawed off the court by the Thunder in the first round. And while you are thinking that, I am going to tell you why you should be expecting Curry to have another big game in this video, which is sponsored by Prize Picks. Many thanks to them. And while it is true Curry's legacy is pretty secure at this point, as Kevin Durant and LeBron James are about to find out when they clash against one another in the first round of these playoffs, there is always an opportunity to do more, or for that matter, less, in the moment at hand. Now, look, Steph Curry just turned 38 years of age in March, which means that he turns 39 during next year's NBA season, which is, by the way, his last under contract with the Golden State Warriors. And Steph isn't the only one. It is also Draymond Green's final year under contract, Jimmy Butler's final year under contract, and hell, for that matter, practically every player on the Golden State Warriors last year under contract.
Well, and let me say this. So you got Jimmy Butler coming back next year. That'll probably be his last. Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and they got Porzingis. If they could keep those guys healthy next year, man, I think they can make some noise.
The Dubs have only 2 guys on the books for a paltry $15 million in the 2027-2028 league year. Now, look, Steph Curry obviously has shown the ability to shoot threes and age his game gracefully. He could probably stick around in the league for another 5 years as a three-point specialist if he wanted to. But does he? He played in only 43 games this year and might possibly be showing a little bit of age and attrition at this time. And I get the sense that being a Warriors lifer is very important to him. He doesn't want to play elsewhere, and I doubt that he wants to engage in some kind of a full-blown rebuild in his 40s out in the Bay Area. So if this does turn into a last dance kind of a scenario next season for Steph Curry and the Warriors, well, that leaves this season right here, right now, and this game as one of his final opportunities to make a legacy statement. Leave us with that indelible memory of him and his greatness. Can he drop another vintage Curry performance like he did in the first play-in game with 35 points on 7 of 12 shooting? Well, America's #1 sports picks app, Prize Picks, has him set at 27.5 points in that game. And while I am staying away from that one, I do like Jordan Goodwin to score more than 7.5 points in that game. While in the other play-in eliminator, I like Con Knipple less than 16.5 points, as he has been less than that total in now 5 consecutive games, including a paltry 6 points in that last play-in win against the Heat. Meanwhile, Kobe White has been in double digits in 15 consecutive games. I like more than 9.5 points.
All right, before he go on, just let me say this about Steph Curry, because they did lose to Phoenix, right? That guy, what's his name? Jalen Green just showed, I think he scored like 34, 36 points. Jalen Green just went off in that game, right? And they eliminated Golden State. But the thing is, man, I just like Steph Curry, like Scott said, Steph Curry, his legacy is already cemented, right? And I'm just looking forward to him having another bite at the apple next year, when you got Jimmy Butler will be back. Like I said, Steph Curry is going to take a lot, though, to manage these guys, because they're an older team. Steph Curry's, you're going to have to limit his minutes. And Porzingis, he's hard. It's hard to keep him healthy. So, like, from a coaching standpoint, Steve Kerr is going to have his hands full, just trying to keep all those guys healthy enough for them to make it into the playoffs and see what kind of noise they can make. But if all 4 of those guys are healthy, you got Steph, Jimmy Butler, Porzingis, and Draymond. I think they'll be able to make some noise next year.
It's for him tonight. Look, Prize Picks is really easy to use. You just pick more or less on a few player stats to lock in your lineup. One of the other reasons I like to use Prize Picks, quite simply, is they are available in Florida, my home state. They're available in many states, including bigger market ones like Florida, California, and Texas. New users offer play $5, get $50 in lineups. To download everything that we've already seen here in one of Curry's closing acts. Speaking, though, of a team winning 2 in the play-in to get themselves into the actual playoff field, the other game, the Charlotte Hornets and Orlando Magic, really not hard to envision. The Hornets.
All right, man. Scat was talking about, let me see what else he got.
Charlotte is number in, it still took Kobe White heroics at the
All right, so basically, man, like the part I agree with what Scat said is that Steph Curry, no matter what happened this season, like they went out already against Phoenix, his legacy is already cemented. And right now, I just think it's about Steph Curry getting more bites at the apple, more opportunities to get himself, into the playoffs and see what they can do in the playoffs, though. But his legacy is cemented. In my opinion, I think that Steph Curry, this has been his era. He's had a better career, in my opinion, than LeBron James and Kevin Durant. If I had the choice to choose between careers, like whose career would I prefer to have had, it would be Steph Curry's. Not LeBron, not Kevin. It'll be Steph. So that's my take. I just think that this was his era, and that's all I got on it. So with that being said, man, y'all make sure to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.